Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John. This reports for the 9th of October. Well, as you can see, we had the blue candle, the turnaround from our red DOC moving slightly higher. We've had some weakness, though, still with the steel, so the fact that this is still carrying through is pretty impressive. The shakeout, of course, has been in a slight uptick towards positive here at any moment, and the power mode 2 hasn't stopped from the buy signal back over here. It's been in a straight up line, and we got this separation, ironically the wrong direction here, with the green transmitting to the higher side of it. Tends to be a bit more negative than not, so it's interesting to see that we're still holding up price-wise. So something to be cognizant of. What typically happens is that's going to have to return, because when you look at these values, one's always a negative, meaning the green, and when it converts to positive, you've got a significant transitionary moment. And before you read too much into it, again, the day's not over, so the fact that it started this way doesn't mean that it will finish that way, but certainly worth keeping an eye on. Interestingly enough, you don't see it from the NASDAQ. You have that much cleaner connection right here, where they come together, and then we look for the breakout, and we would look for magenta spike rejection of that, and that would push us back towards the highs, interestingly enough. Right towards election. Euro, of course, bouncing just a fraction off where it has been. It's still been in a buy, but again, curious power 2 readings within this, and that could just be some algo rotation. We'll see how it plays out during the day, but to see it on more than one market is an interesting quality. It's not something you usually see that often anyway, let alone non-corresponding markets. So from a gold standpoint, nice pop back up here, just holding on to this range. I mean, we've had decent DOC red here throughout the whole time. It's still climbing now, minus 10. If it breaks the negative 7.5, I think you have a chance of pushing the 50% or better. And the shakeout's been in a steady incline going forward. The power mode 2, though, just pretty much dead. I mean, it's still been in the direction still up, but pretty much flatline, kind of what we've seen with the general markets. From a 5K standpoint, it was comparative to the other days that we've had recently, rather boring. We got cyan under red, always a buy configuration right there, and that led to new highs. Also set up some positive extremes, which did get filled promptly, which is always nice when you see that take place. And then we just built back up through better part of the day. It was just back and forth pretty much. Unless you got in real early with the long, or appeared once you got to the peaks for the short, it was just a matter of waiting, and it was slow and arduous. We finally came back to almost retest the algo right there, was slightly better than that, which is usually an indication when you get that turnaround slightly above where the algo level is. That's an indication that it wasn't even able to drive down to that. They were starting to buy it up before then. We got our green dotted rate in the mid-range. Where was that at? It was at the 25 level, and then we quickly proceeded up towards the 100%, which was around 36. So it's a decent move, not as big as some of the previous days. But as we headed into the end of the day, started a whole new cycle, positive extremes. That sets up 34.37 as an additional algo. We already had previously the 34.50, and of course we went right above that, created a new high up here at 34.60, and then quickly retraced right back to the algo level. So again, keep pushing to new highs, and despite all of the woe and everything else, election and everything, you still have the prospect of additional stimulus. They say that the talks are still going on, even though I guess they were supposedly canceled, but guess not. You know, the tactics back and forth to see who blinks. Either way, if they come to an agreement, it helps everyone in the market, because the liquidity would be a boost for consumer spending and everything else. So from that standpoint, everyone's hoping for the best. As always, though, I will put up anything relevant or new on the Skype chat. Trade one. We'll talk to you later.